We are talking about choking. Choking prevention, recognition, and response. When it comes to prevention of choking, there are 3 key things that we need to do. First of all, we need to be aware of different objects around our house that we need to keep out of reach of children. And here are some common objects that I've actually collected from around my own home. You can certainly see that, there are so many things. It's almost anything in your house that a child can choke on. Everything from lollipops to pieces of Lego. Certainly, sometimes things we don't even think about, like leaves, can actually cause a flap over a child's airway. And certainly things like hair clips, coins, and most importantly, we need to remember to keep button batteries out of reach, because not only are they a choking hazard, but they can also cause terrible burns in children. Now, the other thing that we need to consider when it comes to food is the size of what we chop things up into, particularly grapes and sausages. Now, often when we think of a grape, that is the perfect size to lodge in a child's airway. So please always remember, chop up the grapes. Chopping them in half, it's still that perfect spherical shape to lodge in a child's airway. Please make sure that we're chopping them up into quarters. And if you don't have time to chop them into quarters, just squish them. We just don't want them to be that lovely round shape. When it comes to sausages, often we'll just cut them into these circles thinking they're a nice small bit for a child. But once again, that perfect circle is the right size to lodge in a child's airway. So always chop up your sausages into batons. It is better for a child to chew on one of these than to have that perfect circle lodged in their airway. Think about other types of foods as well. Young children shouldn't be eating whole nuts. Popcorn can be quite dangerous to lodge in an airway too. Perfectly fine for older kids, but be really cautious in the younger ones. When it also comes to prevention, what I encourage you to do is get your children to sit down to eat. Children who run around with objects or food in their mouth are more likely to choke. And also, make sure you keep young children in your direct line of sight. It can be really tempting just to nip off and have a quick shower while your child is settled in their high chair. But what's really important is that you remember that choking can be silent. Always keep young children in your line of sight, watching them while they're eating. When it comes to recognising choking in children, it's really important to understand that choking is different to gagging. Gagging is a completely normal response. You may notice when you introduce solids to your child that, the first little while when you're doing that, you'll pop a spoonful of food in their mouth and they will gag, they will vomit that food up. They'll then pick it up again and start eating it again, and it's disgusting, but it's completely normal. So remember, your child, when they gag, they may get a little bit red in the face, they may have watery eyes, they may cough, they may vomit that piece of food up, but they're not distressed and they're able to clear it themselves. Choking is different. Choking is when something is lodged in their airway or esophagus. They are in distress and we need to help them. If your child is choking, this is what you're going to do. Firstly, if they are unconscious, you need to go through doctor's ABCD. If your child has what we call a strong, effective cough, that is, they're able to take a big breath in and a big cough out, then what you're going to do is encourage them to keep coughing. Now, you may be tempted to go and stick your fingers in your child's mouth and try and dig out whatever is in there. Please be cautious, because if you do this, you may push that object further down. If the object is at the front of the mouth and you can easily remove it, please do so. Otherwise, leave it there. If their cough is strong and effective, Simply encourage them to keep coughing and watch them closely. If your child has an ineffective cough or they're silent, so they are, or that's not a strong lungful of air in or out, then we need to intervene. We're going to take the baby out of the high chair or whatever it is that they're in. We're going to lay them down across our laps. Hold them so that you're not going to drop them. Ideally, we want their bottom higher than their head. And we're going to give back blows and chest thrusts. A back blow is not a whack on the back. Using the heel of your hand between their shoulder blades, it is a firm blow to expel the air out of their lungs to try and pop that object out. We can give up to 5 back blows followed by up to 5 chest thrusts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Checking after each blow to see if the object has come out. If the object comes out after the first one, you don't need to give all 5. If the object has not come out, turn your child over. Once again, bottom higher than their head and holding them firmly. We're going to give chest thrusts. 2 fingers for a small baby, heel of your hand for a bigger baby or child. On the centre of their chest, over the hard breastbone. This is not on their tummy. We are not doing the Heimlich manoeuvre in children. We're going to give up to 5 chest thrusts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that hasn't worked, turn them back over. Go back into your back blows again and continue. 5, 5, 5, 5, until either the object comes out or they become unconscious, where you're going through doctor's A, B, C, D. If after the first 5 back blows that the object has not come out, it is important that you call for an ambulance immediately. To do back blows and chest thrusts on an older child who is too big to put across your lap, simply hold them in your arms, back blows between their shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for chest thrusts, simply support them, hand on top of that hard breastbone, remember not over the tummy, and up to 5 chest thrusts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your child is taller and you can't support them properly, simply get them to sit in a chair to do chest thrusts or even lean them up against a wall.